Hey guys, welcome to the Mr. Maple Show.
Hey guys, I'm Tim. That's my brother Matt. We're MrMaple.com. We're a family mail order business. We ship directly to your door, and we do over 1,000 varieties of Japanese maples. And we add 10 new trees every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So go subscribe to our weekly email so you'll know what's coming up.
Guys, we get a lot of commonly asked questions that we love to dispel myths here with on our YouTube page. So one of the questions people ask often is, how is Lillians Jewel and Shiraz different? So they're actually extremely different plants. So we're going to showcase Lillians Jewel here in our 10 gallons, Shiraz, and we're going to throw in Purple Ghost just to give you some other awesome upright red to purple variegated tree.
Smash that like button. I mean, Lillians Jewel, Matt, this is an amazing plant.
Guys, we've talked about Lillians Jewel a lot on our channel. It's one we love. I've got a nice specimen here. It's a 10-gallon size. We had these available at open house. If you're lucky and you're coming to our Memorial Day open house, maybe there'll be a few of these still around. They've been a very popular item for us for good reason. These are huge, and they are one of the most spectacular pink on dark red trees you'll ever see in the landscape. Lillians Jewel is excellent for heat tolerance, but it's also a very multi-stem tree. It often has more of this rounded, dense habit to it.
Yeah, and I love it because it's so heat tolerant. I mean, one of our good friends, Richard Bomar, shout out to Richard if you're watching, he had one of these in full sun in Simpsonville, South Carolina, and it did well for him. Brian Rule also had one of these in a more sunny location in Oklahoma, and it did well for him as well. It is extremely heat tolerant for a red upright, but this plant is a showstopper when it comes to the variegation. The pink on red is outstanding, and it's one of the most stable red variegated types that has an irregular variegation. That means each and every leaf is going to have its own unique swirl. It's going to have its own unique pink characteristics on that red foliage.
Yeah, this one you want to prune any of the all red out. So if you see branches that are all dark red, you want to take those out. But when you get that intense swirling of that pink and white and red going on, it's one of the most colorful Japanese maples you'll ever see. Now, giving this one more light, you're going to be more pink on dark red. If you're in heavy shade, you will get some light green, white, and pink. It's a showstopper in any setting and a great tree to be growing. I'm a huge fan of how this one looks. It is super durable, but also just super colorful. It's one of the flashiest Japanese maples you can be growing.
Now, this plant has also been incorrectly had the name applied to it of Lil Annie's Jewel, and also been incorrectly named Extravaganza. The correct name on this plant is Lillians Jewel. It was found by Jonathan Savlich, introduced by Del Laux Nursery, and it was named after Jonathan Savlich's daughter, Lillian. And we had the privilege of meeting her when she was really young. She was running around the nursery. I mean, this is an amazing variegated plant. So give the credit where it's due. Lillians Jewel, awesome plant for the garden.
All right, guys, let's go check out Shiraz. All right, guys, we're here with Acer Palmatum Shiraz. You can see this one's a showstopper in that early spring garden.
This one has that pink on red variegation. And in the early springtime, this tree can just be a bright, bright pink out there in the landscape and garden. Shiraz is also known as Gwen's Rose Delight or Gwendolyn's Rose Delight. Shiraz is the trademark name that they put on Gwendolyn's Rose Delight. It's actually different from Geisha Gone Wild, but they're both sports off of the cultivar Geisha.
Yeah, the two trees are very similar when grown under the same conditions. Geisha Gone Wild and Shiraz can look exactly alike. Now, to be clear, Gwendolyn Rose Delight and Shiraz are the exact same plant. Cultivar trademarks can be tricky. When you have a patented plant, a tree has a cultivar name as well as a trademark name. And Shiraz is the trademark name on this plant, and Gwendolyn Rose Delight is the cultivar name. Just like Mun 001 is actually trademarked as Moonrise. So sometimes it can be tricky, and that's not always the case. Some people are sloppy with them, like you don't see that on Ryusin and Ryusei, but any trademark plant should also have a cultivar name. So I hope that adds some clarity to that. Now, I find that growing Geisha Gone Wild and Shiraz in the same setting does lean to very similar results. So they are a reoccurring sport that are extremely similar. Some people will tell you that they're very different. Although they occur in different places, they do have very similar habits.
Yeah, the cultivar Geisha is an unstable pink little dwarf, and it sported, and that became Gwendolyn's Rose Delight, aka Shiraz. And that was in New Zealand at the same time it was happening in Oregon. Mm-hmm. So sports happening in different parts of the world, but the result is very, very similar.
Exactly.
With this pink on red variegation. Now, the thing that's really neat about Shiraz is you have this red on the interior side of the leaf and then a pink margin on the outside. That gives a very clean, crisp look with a margin variegation that isn't exactly the same on every single plant. The variegation gives it some sickle shapes to some leaves, while some leaves will be very traditional like a bloodgood, but with that pink more margins around the edge. I mean, this is an outstanding plant. If you do see red starting to form on this plant, do prune it out because this one actually can revert. But this plant is extremely stable when it comes to being out there in the landscape and garden.
Yeah, a lot of people will ask us how this differs from that Lillians Jewel we were just talking about, and they're extremely different. The only characteristic they share in common is that they are both pink and have some crazy red going on. So they are very highly sought after pink Japanese maples, but their leaf shape and color couldn't be any more different. So this one's gonna have a swirling, irregular leaf. One of my favorite stages on the Shiraz or the Geisha Gone Wild is when they fade to a lighter green with that kind of pink overlay. So there's some different changes going on. Certainly very different leaf structures going on here.
You'll also recognize the big difference between Lillians Jewel and Shiraz in their growth habit. Where Lillians Jewel has that upright sort of arching habit, Shiraz or Geisha Gone Wild have more of a more upright shape to them. And that gives them a different structure out in the garden and landscape with that pink and red color.
Now guys, let's go take a look at one that's not normally mixed up with these, but is still an awesome upright variegated tree. Let's contrast Purple Ghost. All right guys, so this one isn't confused with Lillians Jewel and Shiraz quite as much, but it's one of our favorite variegated Japanese maples, and they're looking outstanding right now in these 10 gallons. I had to get Purple Ghost on camera for you. It is a showstopper and one of the most spectacular, flashy, upright red to purple Japanese maples that are variegated you'll ever see.
A selection by our friend and mentor Talon Buchholz, Purple Ghost is so unique. It has a reticulated style variegation, which is often referred to as a ghost-like variegation. And what we mean by that is you see the veins in the leaf. And the veins of the leaf are a dark, dark, dark purple red, while right now the other part is more of a fuchsia red. Really gives you some really nice, unique purple colors that you don't find on many trees at all. And Purple Ghost is sure to stand out in the garden because of that flashy, unique color.
Now, we've looked at 3 different kinds of variegations here today. That Lillians Jewel had more of the pink splotched variegation that is indicative of a sport. The Shiraz actually had some crazy variegation, also maybe a sport, but it has that crazy variegation from a sport off of Geisha. So we're looking at very different styles. And then the Purple Ghost here was actually found as a seedling, and those traits are going to have more of a reticulated style variegation to them. So those veins go through each and every individual leaf. Each have a distinctive look to them, but I'm a sucker for this look on Purple Ghost. It is outstanding, guys. It's a great tree to be growing zones 5 through 9. You're definitely going to need some shade in that zone 9, but it can handle a good bit of sun. If you got early morning sun, late day shade, you can actually hold that color, this intense kind of purple color, later into the summer.
Now we're looking right now at Purple Ghost, and it's more of a fuchsia purple right now. Don't be surprised if this tree leaves out sometimes as more of a lavender purple. I mean, this is one of the trees that can get you unreal colors, and it's not always the exact same every year. Certain environmental conditions, leafing out slowly, leafing out faster, sunlight versus shade, can cause different shades of purple for Purple Ghost. Now, if you're growing Purple Ghost later on in the summer, you may notice it goes a little more maroon red, and that's very typical. Don't worry. Next year, you're still going to get that amazing reticulated style variegation that you love with Purple Ghost that can give you the unreal colors of this fuchsia purple to lavender purple.
And this one's a showstopper. One thing I love about the reticulated style variegations, you never have a reversion on these, but also they're really fun to look through for seeds. So this one's going to throw some seedlings that will look similar to the plant, some that'll be completely different, but it's a lot of fun to look through seedlings of Purple Ghost for new reticulated selections.
Guys, we've put together 3 amazing Japanese maples that are variegated and red upright for you. So in the comment section below, which is your favorite of these 3? I mean, we got 3 rock stars here with Shiraz, Purple Ghost, and also the Lillians Jewel.
That's a deep dive right there. For the people who've been watching the channel for the longest time, we always used to say, hey, if you made it to this part of the video, let us know your favorite variegated upright Japanese maple.
I mean, amazing plants. You should put some of these in your garden. Find them on MrMaple.com. And if they're sold out currently, you can go in, click notify me, plug your email address in, and we'll notify you when they become available again.
We hope you've loved this showcase. Hey guys, if we've earned it, make sure to subscribe to our channel. A lot of you still aren't subscribed. We're getting a ton of new viewers. We're getting a ton of new views, especially during the spring season. Our channel's been blowing up, but definitely take a second. Go ahead and subscribe if we've earned it. And thank you to our regulars. Y'all are so much fun in those premieres. That live chat is crazy. We love communicating with you guys there, and we appreciate all the likes and shares as well.
Take care
God bless.
and have a great day.